Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome back to Smith Does Games, where this week we are focused firmly on E3 this coming weekend. I hope you're doing well. I myself am suffering again with hay fever. I had a brief respite for a couple of days, which was very nice, but back to not being able to breathe properly, back to the nasally voice, so I do apologise for that. But not to worry, we got games to talk about. So, we are approaching E3 rapidly now, and I am on to another one of my games which have yet to be announced, but I am hoping to see at this year's conference, and that game is a new Splinter Cell. Now, I don't have any gameplay for this because there's no Splinter Cell games available this generation. And I mean, just saying that's crazy. We've gone a whole generation. Splinter Cell Blacklist was the last one, and it came out in 2013. So, I mean, 5 years we've gone with that Splinter Cell game. So, yeah, I don't have any relevant gameplay to put in the background. I'll put some, I don't know, Rainbow Six in there or something. It's Tom Clancy in it, that'll do. So, yeah, this is something that I really hope Ubisoft announce. I don't know whether this could be... Honestly, at this point, I think this could be anywhere from almost ready to go with a full trailer, gameplay trailer and everything, or it could literally just be like a stinger at the end of the conference and say, oh, hey, we're working on this. But who knows? It has been... Yves Saint Gobain has publicly said in the past that it's a franchise they talk about a lot, and definitely doesn't seem to be one they're dropping. And honestly, I think now would be a perfect time to get in and announce it. Like, nobody really knows where Metal Gear is going at this point after Hideo Kojima's exit from Konami. And obviously Metal Gear Survive appeared to be a massive steaming pile of shit and not in the stealth genre at all. So I mean, it's not even, not anywhere close to that sort of Metal Gear Solid vibe. And with Kojima not there anymore, who knows, we may never see another Metal Gear Solid game in the same vein as the mainline series. So now would be a perfect time, I think, for Ubisoft to kind of swoop back in, put their stamp on it and say, okay, we're taking this hill. That stealth action genre is up for grabs, effectively. I mean, there's a few other contenders. You've got Hitman, and apparently Hitman 2 is coming soon. I'm pretty sure that was announced just a couple of days ago, which is really exciting. And Dishonored, those games are great, but they are definitely a little bit different. Splinter Cell and Metal Gear were the closest kind of compatriots, if you will. And they, now that Metal Gear is gone, I think it could be a perfect time for Ubisoft to get in, announce that Splinter Cell's coming back, and try and take that genre and own it. Now, obviously, Splinter Cell went through quite a lot of changes over the course of its life, and I am really hoping that what we see, if we do see a new Splinter Cell, is more akin to the older games. Chaos Theory is my personal favourite, and I think generally the favourite of many Splinter Cell fans, but I'm sure there's love for the original and for Pandora Tomorrow as well, but there's definitely less love in general for Conviction, which I think is probably the weakest, and then Blacklist, which has a very similar kind of thing to Conviction. I think they tried to introduce a few more options for full stealth in Blacklist, but just a lot of the way the game works doesn't feel quite the same in the modern Splinter Cell games as it did in those older ones. Everything is tuned for a much higher pace of play, and it just doesn't feel like the same kind of hardcore stealth action game that the original Splinter Cell was. There is definite reason to believe that this could be announced soon, though, because recently there was a Ghost Recon Wildlands mission added, or something. I don't know, I don't play that game, so you may understand this better than me, but I think some mission was added to Ghost Recon Wildlands in which you actually came across Sam Fisher as a character, and he showed up, and you actually interacted with him in that game. And not only that, he was voiced by the original voice actor for Sam Fisher, Michael Ironside, who they got rid of for Blacklist. And that is great for a start. Michael Ironside is Sam Fisher as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as many Splinter Cell fans are concerned, he really is the voice of the character. And honestly, I think Ubisoft, they'd have to be really stupid not to know how much that would kind of mean to fans of the game when Michael Ironside was the guy doing the voice in Wildlands. And so it would be pretty glib of them to bring Michael Ironside back and get him to voice just like a tiny appearance in a different game. So it really does feel to me like they're working with Michael Ironside again, and they're trying to put Splinter Cell back in people's minds, like a kind of a little bit of guerrilla marketing before the full announcement. Either way, I do think it's quite likely that there's something Splinter Cell related being worked on. What I want that to look like I say, is the older Splinter Cell games, and I think I am probably not going to get that, if I'm perfectly honest. I think a lot of the old Splinter Cell stuff, I don't know if it would sell that well. There's a lot of modern game design trends that don't fit into the old Splinter Cell games, and so I do think we'll see something probably more akin to Blacklist if we're going to get a new Splinter Cell game. I hope I'm wrong on that. I do hope it looks more like Chaos Theory. But the other thing I'd really like to see come back would be the multiplayer. So the Spies vs Mercs multiplayer, this was like an asynchronous 2 versus 2 multiplayer mode in which one team played as mercenaries, played in first person with kind of automatic weapons and stuff, and the other two played as the spies, and they would play like traditional Splinter Cell agents, and third person, focus on stealth and everything. And there's a really interesting game mode, and I'd love to see what could be done with that now, especially in a world where online multiplayer is just a much bigger thing than it was back when Spies vs Mercs was introduced. Something that I really don't want to happen is for Splinter Cell to get kind of the Ubisoft treatment and just become stealth action version of Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed or Far Cry, just another one of these open world games where you clear stuff off a map. That is not what Splinter Cell is, and I even don't want them to go the more freeform structure of Metal Gear Solid 5. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 was a good game, but Splinter Cell I think works best when it is, linear, handcrafted missions, chronologically ordered. I guess what I'm saying is I want like Chaos Theory 2, effectively. Chaos Theory is the best series there's ever been, to be honest, and I'd love to see them go back to that kind of style of game. So, what about you guys? Did you ever play the old Splinter Cell games? Did you play the newer Splinter Cell games? And how likely do you think this one is? I really do think it's likely to be in development at in some fashion, but whether it's going to be what most of the Splinter Cell fans want it to be is obviously another question. But here's hoping we see something at E3, and I'll be back tomorrow with my final kind of realistic prediction and hope for E3, and then we'll have one more video which is a little bit more of a Hail Mary shot. For anyone that doesn't know the E3 schedule, it is EA Play is the first conference on June 9th, that's Saturday. That's going to be 11 AM Pacific Time, 2 PM Eastern Time, or 7 PM in British Standard Time. And then Microsoft, Bethesda and Devolver Digital on the Sunday. Square Enix, Ubisoft, the PC Gaming Show and Sony are all going on the Monday, and then Nintendo will do their Direct, I assume that's going to be on Tuesday. So I'm sure it'll be pretty easy to find and watch online. I'll be watching all of those that I can, stuff like Devolver Digital I probably won't be because that's going to be 4 AM here, but I'll certainly watch what I can. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Like the video if you want, don't if you don't want to, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Bye.